Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with our morning briefing.
The European Union its foreign ministers to have serious talks with Israel over their concerns regarding Israeli settlement policy in the West. They question their commitment to and according to one EU diplomat, any future talks with Israel could be, quote, business as usual, things to the Israelis, end quote. The idea is to establish a united with one-voiced opinion on the Israel conflict, depending on the they remain on reports about the discussions. Among the concerns that the ambivalence regarding the two-state solution that has been stated by the Trump administration makes Europe worry about pressuring which the EU has. The EU has consistently condemned Israeli settlement policy, which it deems illegal. Land in the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem has been claimed by the Palestinians as part of their future. Today, it's been revealed that last fall, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu backed out of regional peace negotiations because of the The Israeli daily Haaretz reported that Netanyahu, along with opposition leader Isaac Herzog, were slated to release a joint point English language text detailing Israel's position in support of a regional peace plan. The document, published by Haaretz, dated September 12th, addresses Arab states, particularly. It thanks President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for his role in advancing the peace process. It also goes to explicitly welcome Arab involvement in the peace effort, noting regarding the general spirit of the Arab peace initiative and the positive Israel welcomes a dialogue with states regarding this initiative so as to reflect the dramatic changes in recent years and to work together to advance the two-state solution and broader peace in the region. End quote. The statement was never publicly released. Netanyahu to curtail settlement construction, at odds with most of his governing. Haaretz further says that the talks down political influence in Herzog, an insinuation that the Prime Minister's office has rejected, while Herzog has declined to comment. According to Haaretz, the text's content were well known to officials in Egypt and as well as then State Secretary of State John Kerry and Quartet Mideast Peace Envoy Tony Blair. Jordan, Egypt, and statements that the two-state solution is not. This weekend saw a massive shakeup in Israel's political scene, with former Shin Bet chief and ex-MK Dichter declaring that he's going to run against Prime Minister Netanyahu in the next Likud party primaries. As former head of Israel's domestic spy, Dichter created the state's witness protection program, as well as an elite unit to combat organized crime. Candidacy by stating that ongoing criminal investigations against the Prime Minister make him lead the country. The first investigation case and alleges that the Prime Minister and his received luxury gifts with hundreds of thousands of shekels from various businessmen. In the second case, Netanyahu is accused of negotiating an illicit quid pro quo deal for positive coverage with the owner of the Yediot Ahronot. On top of that, former Kulanu Minister Avi Gabay is set to challenge Isaac Herzog to lead the Labour Party in the July primaries. Gabay the Environmental Protection but quit in protest when Netanyahu formed a coalition deal with Israel Beitenu. In a Facebook post, Gabay said that he decided to run the Labour primary to transform it from a party with direct principles to a party that would. The Sheikh either, as former Moshe Alon is announcing his plans to form an entirely new party to run in the next elections. Netanyahu replaced Ya'alon as defense minister with Avigdor Lieberman as part of a deal to include the Israeli ruling coalition. Ya'alon also criticized the 2004, which found that both he and the prime minister failed to adequately inform the security cabinet about the threat posed by Hamas attack tunnels ahead of the conflict. The long-anticipated World Baseball Classic has returned for time and begins tomorrow in Seoul. Israel will play against South Korea and Chinese Taipei.
President Donald Trump claims his White House Barack Obama tapped his offices in New York prior to the election last November. Posted a series of tweets decrying McCarthyism. He didn't, however, say who informed him about the alleged wiretap, though he did hint at possible legal action. A spokesman responded to Trump's accusations, saying This is a direct quote. Neither President Obama nor the White House shall ever surveillance on any U.S. citizen. Let's bring in former CIA and State Department official Larry Johnson. Joins me on the line. Very good evening to you, Larry. We've heard it said that there are really serious accusations by some guests so far. What's your assessment of Donald Trump's had said? How big a deal?
The problem is Trump probably done this via Twitter, because to call it that it is technically accurate. Asking what the meaning of is with respect to, was oral sex a sexual act? In this case, I understand from very good that what happened, both Jim Clapper, John Brennan were intimately involved in to derail the candidacy of Donald Trump. That there was overseas with your Britain's own GHQ. That information that was gathered from GHQ was passed to John Brennan and within the U.S. government. This dissemination was illegal. Donald Trump is in essence correct that the agencies and some in the law enforcement were act illegally, trying to with A's, all of this with an end to destroy credit presidency. I don't think there will be any doubt. Worth noting that the head of the National Security Agency made a journey to Trump Tower shortly after Trump had won, and in the immediate aftermath of his visit, Jim Clapper and the intelligence community called for him to be fired. Now, why Trump Tower? My understanding is cover himself because he was aware that the NSA authorities had been misused with respect to Donald Trump. I think Trump's decision to go out this morning and tweet this was fully intended to send a notice and send word that he's doing this without evidence. He does have, I think, artfully expressed in the tweet.
You would think that if he's going to make such a serious accusation, doing so publicly, like you said, there would have to be evidence. Do you think we've not seen a lot of evidence in any of this whole Trump-Russia debacle? Do you think we'll see any firm evidence in this case?
Well, there is evidence on the side of Russia meddling in the U.S. election. I saw that you had earlier. I simply wish that you folks would ask him a very basic question. Ask him, what specifically did Russia do that influenced the U.S. election? The answer is nothing. The Russia did not set up front company. Russia did not provide money to the Trump campaign so that they could advertise. Russia advisors, director in his cutouts to advise Trump on how to defeat Clinton. The class C, does Russia run intelligence operations against the United States? Yes. And does the United States do that against Russia? Yes. But this is an entirely, completely different matter. So I think what we're seeing here, I think there is a genuine effort to try to defeat Donald Trump in the aftermath of his election. And there are senior people in jobs at the National Director Office of the Senate Agency, the National Security, that these are senior intelligence executives that ought to be fired. They would marched right out the door.
But you talked about you believe Donald the ropes a lot since he took mostly a sort of a defensive stance he's taken. Will he produce the evidence? And will he be able to actually sort of take the upper hand in this fight against not just the former establishment, Democrats, but also of the media? He's fighting all en masse.
Yeah, no, listen, this is a coordinated, organized effort. The Obama, let's call it, were really shocked that Trump won. So they had no clue coming down he was going to win. They genuinely thought that they were putting some planned information in the press, pressure on him that he would not take the oath of office. And those efforts, the so-called dossier on Trump's alleged misbehavior in Russia, was leaked. All of this was part of a coordinated, planned campaign of people that are linked to Barack Obama. Now, did Barack Obama tell John Brown Z? No, I don't think that's the case. My though, Obama did green light when he was briefed on British GAQ to U.S. intelligence officials. He gave to go ahead and using that. So this has to be, I think, done very. There are, I think, very well could be criminal charges brought against former members of the Obama administration for what they've done. They're doing, I think, would fall under the mission. It sounds very. Reality on is isolated events generated by taken by Donald Trump and his servants.
Their relations appeared to be cordial during handing over of power, but Trump has changed all that with a series of explosive early morning tweets. Just a day after alleging without any supporting evidence that Barack had tapped his phone in the election, the White House Congress to investigate the claim. Trump's tweets have caused consternation not only among Democrats who vigorously deny the claims, but also Republicans. It's an unprecedented attack by a sitting against his predecessor. Obama say Trump is simply attempting to deflect attention away from growing questions about links between Russia and Trump.
And on the former State Department latest report on human rights violations in the U.S. government is in no position to assess the human rights in other countries, as it has a track record of rights abuse both at home and abroad. Refers to the White House ban on 7 predominant of Muslims in the U.S. He said the another by U.S. officials, Iran's foreign ministry believes the U.S. State Department on other countries is acting by to cover up its own record when it comes to nations are now aware of crimes in a number of countries throughout the Middle East. And you're going to out of a story out of is Mr. Masood, Islamic human. Hello, sir. Thanks for joining us on the program. We've seen this human rights by the now. We never of us allies, including Saudi Arabia, or its own soldiers in countries like Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, etc.
In the recent years, and not just Trump, even beyond that, you see some of you and seeing that not being I put for attack one another and principles that will encourage one another to. We've seen United States of Afghanistan and autonomous all seeing, but also seeing systematic and family and those roles are in. I will argue all of them, they will not be taken to court. No charge against any public the first to assassinate the family, their even young and first, or the whole children of Israel who are basically have encouragement to go commit war crimes very clearly in broad daylight, in front of the whole media, in front of the whole national media, and they're being not tolerated and the TV to kill people and inside to stay. The racism is against black and policy of excluding evidence has been attempted to be single in the United States. So really is creation of concept and principles of human rights to the extent that nation they put the abuses of children system, abuses of children and killing children in Iran, and then they take because and supported by the rest. This is sort of a standard. I think I'm different as a white campaigner for most of my life, trying to bring something for all nations to adhere to. I'm seeing that the whole principle is it really does that.
And where do you think the U.S. is headed now with respect to human rights? We've seen hate crimes on the rise, something failed to. We've seen incidents that make this with respect to Muslims, African Americans. Not mention anything with respect to any of these, and he is advocating the illegal torture. Where is the human rights situation in the U.S.?
Absolutely, it is essential to like that. This is not just that people are going back to the United States because of the system. The majority of people voted for some actually promised. It comes to Islam, Muslims against Hispanics, and ethnic minorities for all the ills of the society, and support the state of Israel and abusing.
Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with Morning Briefing.
The European Union needs foreign ministers to have serious talks with Israel over their concerns regarding Israeli settlement policy in West. They question their commitment to and according to one EU diplomat, any future talks with Israel could be, quote, business as usual, things to the Israelis, end quote. The idea is to establish a united with one-voiced opinion on the Israel conflict, depending on the they remain on different reports about the discussions. Among the concerns that the ambivalence regarding the two-state solution that has been stated by the Trump administration makes Europe worry about pressuring which the EU has. The EU has consistently condemned Israeli settlement policy, which it deems in the region, and The statement was never publicly released. Netanyahu to curtail settlement construction, at odds with most of his governing. Haaretz further says that the talks down political influence in Herzog, an insinuation that the Prime Minister's office has rejected, while Herzog's has declined to comment. According to Haaretz, the text's content were well known to officials in Egypt and as well as then State Secretary of State John Kerry and Quartet Mideast Peace Envoy Tony Blair. Jordan, Egypt, and statements that the two-state solution is not. This weekend saw a massive shakeup in Israel's political scene, with former Shin chief and ex-MK Lichter declaring that he's going to run against Prime Minister Netanyahu in the next Likud party primaries. As former head of Israel's domestic spy, Lichter created the state's witness protection program, as well as an elite unit to combat organized crime. Candidacy by stating the ongoing criminal deal to include the Israeli ruling coalition. Yalon also criticized the 2004 report, which found that both he and the Prime Minister failed to adequately inform the security cabinet about the threat posed by Hamas attack tunnels ahead of the conflict. The long-anticipated World Baseball Classic has returned for time and begins tomorrow in Seoul. Israel will play against South Korea and Chinese Taipei.
President Donald Trump claims his White House Barack Obama tapped his offices in New York prior to the election last November. Posted a series of tweets decrying McCarthyism. He didn't, however, say who informed him about the alleged wiretap, though he did hint at possible legal action. A spokesman responded to Trump's accusations, saying, this is a direct quote, neither President Obama nor the White House shall ever surveillance on any U.S. citizen. Let's bring in former CIA and State Department official Larry Johnson.
Land in West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem has been claimed by the Palestinians as part of their future. Today, it's been revealed that last fall, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu backed out of regional peace negotiations. The Israeli daily Haaretz reported that Netanyahu, along with opposition leader Isaac Herzog, were slated to release a joint point English language text detailing Israel's position in support of a regional peace plan. The document, published by Haaretz, dated September 12th, addresses Arab states, particularly Egypt. It thanks President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for his role in advancing the peace process. It also goes to explicitly welcome Arab involvement in the peace effort, noting regarding the general spirit of the Arab peace initiative and the positive. Israel welcomes a dialogue with states regarding this initiative so as to reflect the dramatic changes in recent years and to work together to advance the two-state solution and broader peace investigations against the Prime Minister make him lead the country. The first investigation case and alleges that the Prime Minister and his received luxury gifts with hundreds of thousands of shekels from various businessmen. In the second case, 2000, Netanyahu is accused of negotiating an illicit quid pro quo deal for positive coverage with the owner of the Yadiot Achronot. On top of that, former Kulanu Minister Avi Gabay is set to challenge Isaac Herzog to lead the Labour Party in July primaries. Gabay the environmental protection but quit in protest when Netanyahu formed a coalition deal with Israel Beitenu. In a Facebook post, Gabay said that he decided to run the Labour primary to transform it from a party with direct principles to a party that would vote. The Sheikh either, as former Moshe Alon is announcing his plans to form an entirely new party to run in the next elections. Netanyahu replaced Ya'alon as defense minister with Avigdor Lieberman as part of